Hey guys, I'm Justin Youssef, and sorry for the delay, but this is another episode of my recent series called Leggo My Ego. And today I want to talk about the impression or connection intention. It's so important, that word, so there's no confusion, right? The impression or connection intention. Got it? So, before when we first meet somebody, that a potential relationship could be involved, we have a choice within ourselves to either do we want to make an impression or do we want to make a connection? Because if we want to make an impression upon this person, we would perhaps rehearse our lines or what we're going to say or how we're going to act prior to meeting the individual, or maybe even on the spot, based upon a short presumption of them, of a short viewing of them. And then based on that, like, okay, this is probably what this person will like, and act accordingly. We will alter our behavior in order to make impressions upon people. Basically, everything becomes kind of performative, right? There's this posturing. For instance, if I meet a pretty girl, all of a sudden I remember my posture: stand up straight, shoulders out, look like this, knees to shoulder width. Don't look at her. Act like you don't even care. That's what I go into, right? Because I want to make an impression upon her. Shh. But if I were to establish a connection with somebody, if you want to make a connection, if that is your ultimate motive, right, when you meet somebody, and then you're not going to be doing that. When you're wanting to make a connection, you'll be more vulnerable and transparent. Maybe sharing more personal things about yourself, asking questions, targeted questions, and actually listening, right? And this builds the intimacy. I'll share a story with you quickly. When I was a kid, I had a crush on this girl named Chelsea. She didn't like me because I was kind of a goof, a goof, a goof is a doofus and a goofus together. It's awful. It's the worst kind, and that's terminal. So, anyways, that's who I was, and she didn't like my type, and I really liked her. She liked this cool, really badass dude named Stevie, and he was super cool. Anywho, I carried that with me my whole life. I became a version of cool that was me, that was unique and genuine to me. And I brought that to all my potential partners, all the girls I met. I always thought that I had to be Mr. Cool, tough, badass island guy. But, the little cracks of goofiness and silliness always still shone through. But it didn't matter because none of my relationships really lasted that long because of substance abuse. But that's besides the point. Anywho, and so my most recent relationship, my guard started to fall down. My walls started to fall down. I would share little silly moments of me, and like, she would still stick around, and not just that, but she seemed to like me even more because of it. And I started to realize, like, man, I don't have to be James Dean all the freaking time. I can be Jim Carrey, and still feel loved and accepted, and still feel wanted, right? And I started to be open up to this whole new level of intimacy that I didn't think was available or even existed. But it came from letting people in and being, authentic and being vulnerable and sharing the parts about me that maybe I'm insecure about or not very proud about, or I think that other people won't like or accept. When we share those kind of things, and then we see that, hey, not only do I relate, but I love you, like you anyway, choose to have your friendship or you in my life anyway, then we start feeling more accepted and whole. And it's just beautiful, man, right? And on top of that, not only is a connection made now, but you also make an impression upon that person that's even more spectacular than any kind of impression you would have made being performative, or altering your behavior, being charming, right, or deceitful, in order to get their approval, right, or make an impression. Now you're making an impression like, wow, this person's a really solid dude, really deep, he's really open, like, man, you can really talk to this person. They've experienced life, right, or they're interesting. We make so much better an impression on somebody when we seek to make a connection. So next time you're going to meet somebody, don't seek to make an impression. Seek to make a connection. and you will make an impression. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode, which is called, I don't know yet, but we're still on Lego My Ego. So, love you guys. Sorry for the delay. God bless. Good night.